Hi everyone. In this lecture, I am going to discuss about Nepheloturbidimeter. Nepheloturbidimeter is one of the analytical instruments that is used for analyzing turbid solutions such as drug suspensions or emulsions, or simply we can use this method to analyze the water purity. Whatever solution, if it is turbid, then we can analyze it with the help of this instrument, or if you want to check any impurities present in your water sample or some other solutions, then you can simply use some chemicals to induce a turbidity in that solution, and after inducing the turbidity, those precipitates can be analyzed with the help of this instrument. So Nepheloturbidimeter is actually available as a single instrument as well as two separate instruments like nephelometer as well as turbidometer. So there is a difference between these two instruments, even though they both seem like the same instrument. Nephelometer is actually used for solutions which has lesser turbidity, but turbidometer is used for solutions which has more turbidity. So if the turbidity present is very less, if you cannot even see the turbidity through a naked eye, then you can use nephelometer. And if the turbidity is more, you can see the precipitate is getting to settle at the bottom of your glassware, then you can use turbidometer. Okay, so the principle that is involved in these two instruments is measurement of scattered or transmitted radiation. In case of nephelometer, the scattered radiation is measured. In case of turbidometer, the transmitted radiation is measured. As you can see, nephelometer is used for analyzing the solutions that has lesser turbidity. So which means the particles that are present in the solution have very less particle size, and if you pass a light radiation through those samples will scatter the light radiation. So in case of nephelometer, we can measure the scattered radiation. And in case of turbidometer, the particle size will be very large. So if the particle size is larger, and if you pass the light radiation through the sample, and what will happen is those larger particles will absorb the light radiation, and the radiation that is remained unabsorbed will be passed through the sample holder. So in this case, we are going to measure the transmitted radiation, that is the unabsorbed radiation. So this is the principle involved in turbidometer. Okay, the instrument setup is also different. The nephelometer consists of a source of light, then filter or monochromators, and then next to it we have a sample cell, and the sample cell is supposed to hold our sample. So in case of nephelometer, I already said the principle involved is the measurement of scattered radiation, which means the light radiation that falls on the sample will be scattered. Scattered means it will not go anymore in the same direction, it will change its direction, and in the same path of light, only the transmitted radiation will pass through the sample holder. So if we place the detector at 180-degree angles, we will not get the scattered radiation, we will get only the transmitted radiation. So in case of nephelometer, the detector is placed exactly at 90 degrees to that of the sample holder. So with the help of that, we can measure only the scattered radiation without any disturbance from the transmitted radiation. But in case of turbidometer, the turbid particles are actually absorbing the light radiations. Hence it is absorbing the light radiation. The remaining unabsorbed radiation will be passed on to the other side of the sample holder. So at 180-degree angles, you can see only the transmitted radiation is passing. You cannot measure the absorbed radiation. There is no possibility of measuring the absorbed radiation. So in this case, we are going to measure only the transmitted radiation. So since we are measuring the transmitted light, and the detector can be placed exactly at 180 degrees to that of the sample holder. So this is the major difference between nephelometer as well as the turbidimeter. But as you can see, there is an instrument with both the setups, that is nepheloturbidometer, and in this instrument you can find two detectors, because the measurement of light radiation is different. In one we are going to measure scattered radiation, and in another we are going to measure the transmitted radiation. So only the light radiation path is different, and hence unlike other instruments, here we are going to use the two detectors. So one detector is kept at 180 degrees for measuring turbidity, and another one is kept at 90 degrees for measuring the scattered radiation. So this Nepheloturbidimeter is a more sophisticated instrument when compared to Nephelometer and turbidimeter, and with the help of these instruments we are actually going to measure the turbid solutions, and it is also used for performing various qualitative as well as quantitative tests, and also for checking the purity of water samples and so on.